All right, so this is another fanfiction idea that was voted on over on my Patreon. If you guys want to be part of those, just hit the link in the description box below. Head on over to my Patreon at the first tier. That'll allow you access to do so. But yeah, so this was one that was for a horror crossover involving Red Dead Redemption, and this one won by a country mile. That being Dracula Red Dead Redemption, which is kind of funny, but I'm happy this one won. But I did have on the poll Evil Dead, and it kind of sucks because I had the perfect title for it: Red Evil Dead Redemption, right? Like that. That's just kind of perfect, isn't it? Anyway, so let's get started with the story. So this story begins with Dutch getting the gang together, and he basically brings up the fact that there's this new score they've been tasked by. They've been hired by an anonymous source who's basically said hey, I'm going to hire you for a train job. And at first, Arthur's like, hey Dutch, how do we know this isn't like a setup or it's the Pinkertons or something? How do we know this isn't the case? And he's like, well, we don't, and if it is, we'll just shoot our way out. Or let me do the talking, Arthur. So even Jose is with Arthur. He's like, Dutch, you should have talked to us more about this. We don't even know if this is an actual score. And he's like, well, the money is it will either it's going to be money or it's not, but we need money if we want to get to Tahiti. So everyone begrudgingly agrees, and was like, all right, what's the score? What is what's the idea? What is this train job? And they're like, well, according to the source that sent me the letter, they told me that this whole idea came from there's a train coming around at night to Saint Denis, and on that train is supposed to be crates of gold and jewels. Now these people, this source, basically said, if we get them this money, if we steal these jewels, and they'll give us half of this score. And Arthur again brings up, I don't know, it still feels kind of fishy, but willing to part with that many gold and whatnot, I don't know. And they're like, well, it doesn't matter, Arthur. Either they'll be nice and Micah finishes, or we can just kill him and just take all the money. And Dutch is like, that is an idea, but we are gentlemen here, people. So Dutch and the whole gang ride out, and they have to beat the train before it reaches Saint Denis. So Arthur and the others all ride out, and John's just kind of John and Jose and Arthur and even Charles are just like, this is a little fucked, isn't it? This is just we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know what's going on. It just kind of feels it all just feels really weird. But as they're riding they find the train, and Dutch tells them which car it's supposed to be on, and Micah, Dutch, and Lenny go up ahead and stop the train. They jump on, they climb aboard while everyone else climbs into each car to look for the jewels, to look for the money. So as they're looking around, they Arthur, John, and Arthur and John break into one car, and they're immediately brought before all of these coffins. And they're just like, what the fuck? What is this? What did Dutch get us into? So they're starting to throw open coffins. Just throw open one coffin is because Arthur thinks maybe the money was maybe it's smuggled money, and this is how they were trying to get it past the feds. And John's like, okay, that does make sense. So let's just crack them open. Hopefully not find a dead body. But as they're breaking these coffins open, throwing them open, all they're finding is dirt, and they're just pawing through, and they're just like, the hell is this? Maybe the money was supposed to be in the dirt. It's all we got was goddamn dirt. So the train got stopped, and everyone's going through each car, finding all these coffins, and they're just like, we got Dutch. You got ripped off, man. What the hell was this supposed to be? And even Dutch is like, I was told that we were going to get money from this, not coffins full of dirt. Like, whoever did this is a dead man. And that's when a voice goes, "Forgive me, gentlemen, but I had to make the ruse work." And everyone turns around, guns drawn, and they're like, "Who the hell are you?" And he's like, "Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Professor Abraham Van Helsing, and I tasked you, gentlemen, to help me in my crusade against a great evil." And Mike is just like, "The only evil here is what we're gonna do to you for ripping us off." And Van Helsing's like, "I apologize to all of you for the deception. I truly am sorry, but I had heard tales about the Vanderlyn gang and how proficient they were, and the evil that I do battle with requires a different kind of evil to stop it from spreading into your country." And they're like, "What evil are you talking about, old man?" And he's like, "Have you ever heard of a vampire, Mr. Vanderlyn?" And Dutch is just like, "You have got to be fucking kidding! There are no such thing as vampires." "No? Have you broken up all the coffins?" And they're like, "No, we haven't checked all the back cars." And he's like, I suggest you do, and be on your guard. There may be more than just dirt in them." So they start and he's like, "I swear to God, if there ain't something in here to prove your story, mister, we will hang you from that tree." So Dutch tells Arthur to be like, "All right, go check the other cars, Arthur. Let's see what's in there." So Arthur goes to the back of the car and finds another coffin, throws it open, and there's a woman in there. And he's like, "It's a girl. I don't what Dutch. It's a woman." The woman eyes snap open and lunges at Arthur, and Arthur's just trying to fight. He's like, "God damn!" Shoots her in the stomach, and looks at him. Is just hissing and showing off the fangs. And Arthur just "What the fuck?" And that's when Van Helsing jumps in with a cross, forcing the creature back into her coffin, and then proceeds to put a stake through her heart and decapitate her. And he's like, "This is the evil we face, Mr. Morgan. This is the evil we must destroy. The evil spawned by Count Dracula." And they're like, "Dracula? Who the fuck is Dracula?" And he's like, "A great evil I have hunted across the Europe and has now found his way in America. He beat me here. I have been chasing him across Europe, and I have discovered that he's been living in Saint Denis. These coffins were meant to help with his demonic, with his vampiric army. He's been feeding in Saint Denis, and I fear that he will turn Saint Denis into a vampire capital if we don't stop him. Yeah, these coffins were meant for his new army and for him to find boxes of earth of his home country to use as safe house to put throughout the city. We've stopped him and now have basically crippled his supply line. We have to hunt him down." And at this point, Vanderlyn's like, "I never thought I'd be a monster hunter, but you better pay us." And he's like, "I assure you, you will get money, but right now, in order to save your country, we have to kill him first." And Mike is like, "Fuck this, Dutch. I still think he's full of shit. And furthermore, even if he is, we ain't monster hunters." And everyone's like, some people are against it. John is like, I don't know. I don't know if this is real or not, Dutch, but if it's real, I don't want those things coming after, Abigail and Jack. I can't have that. Hosea's just like, "We should just go. If this Dracula guy is real, then we cannot be here, Dutch." And everyone's putting it to a vote, and Arthur's the breaking point. And he's like, "Well, Arthur, looks like you're the deciding factor." And Arthur's like, "I don't know what all this shit is. I don't believe in vampires, but what I just saw was a goddamn vampire. And and John's right. If this Dracula fella finds us and hundreds of people are gonna die, thousands of people if this Dracula guy keeps alive. And how long till he finds us? Like after what we did to him, I'm not risking anyone's lives. I say we kill him now. If we kill this monster now. So everyone, like the vote's in, everyone mounts up with Van Helsing, and they proceed to head out to hunt down Dracula. And as they're talking, they're like, how do you know this monster, Van Helsing? Abraham, like, how do you know this monster? So Abraham explains, like, I fought him several times. I thought I had killed him, but he survived. He survived the killing blow I administered on him. He's dangerous. Like, I know if he has come to America, he will basically be a plague in your country. And yeah, he might even find it easier to take over. Like, I've seen in my travels here, like, I've seen like how you people treat each other in America. It'd probably be so damned easy for him to like get through to everyone. So they make it to Saint Denis, and he's like, "Do you know where he would be? Do you know where he would be?" Like, and he's like, "I've heard sources say like he's been rubbing shoulders with the rich elite here. There has been a lot of talk of like him talking him trying to fill the role of one Angelo Bronte, and everyone's like, oh, we know Bronte. We took care of him. So looks like he's trying to fill that power vacuum for Bronte." So they actually go to Bronte's house, which has been recently purchased by a European count. And there they find they encounter Dracula, who's been kind of waiting for them because he's like, did you think I wasn't going to, Van Helsing, did you think I wasn't going to, oversee my boxes? I had creatures serving me. And he's like, I think it's time you met my new family. And sure enough, everyone in the building is just vampires. So the Vanderlyn gang and Van Helsing have to fight their way. And Van Helsing's explaining to the others how to kill a vampire, how to how to slay and kill a vampire. And they're just going through the motion, they're just fighting their way through it. The cross thing though doesn't really work for them, and they're like, hey, and John's like, what the hell? The crosses ain't working, Doc. And he's like, you have to have faith in the Lord, or it's just a piece of wood. He's like, and Dutch just goes, you ain't gonna find any holy men here, Doc. We believe in ourselves and our family. And he's like, but if it's still a stick, it's still a weapon. And Dutch just starts whacking one vampire in the head with the cross till impaling him into the wall. Dracula, of course, is mocking them, and he's just like, this is the army you sent against me, Abraham. You put your faith into a gang of crooks. This is what you have come to fight me with. I laugh, and it's so easy to it was so easy to to seat my way into Saint Denis. This country is built by liars and monsters in their own degree. I made it so it was so damned easy to get in, and that's when a gunshot gets him in the throat, and it's Arthur, and he's like, you talk too damn much, and Arthur just runs up, tackles him through a wall, into a wall. Dracula's just get off, throws him, and grabs Arthur by the throat, and he smells him, and he's like, the stench of death is already on you, boy. Arthur's just shut up, grabs a knife, gets him in the stabs him in the eye. Dracula throws him, and he's like, you would stand against me, the king of vampires, the lord of the night. And he's like, I don't care who you are, pal. You're all I know is you shouldn't exist. And that's when Arthur tackles him again, this time out of a window, and impales him on the on a fountain, leaving blood to leak down. Arthur parted out of the way at the last second, but he gets fucked up, and Dracula is slain. But everyone's talking. It was like, good, you killed Dracula, and everyone turns around. Dracula's body's not there, meaning he's not dead and still out there, but heavily wounded. So Um, Van Helsing's like he escaped. The evil is gone, but he's wounded now. He'll probably retreat back home to his home country, and that's where I'll meet him. I thank you, gentlemen, for the aid, but this is a war. I realize I can't fight. I'll fight alone. And Dutch is like, well, safe travels, but you do owe us some money. And he's like, I swear I will pay. I'll make sure you have access to what you are owed. And sure enough, Van Helsing does pay. He does wire money to the Vanderlyn gang. And by the end of it, Dutch and everyone else is just like, that was fucked. And John just goes, makes you wonder, right? Right, Arthur? And he's like, what? If vampires are real, what the hell else is? And that's where the story ends. So there you go, guys. That is the Dracula Red Dead Redemption crossover. I want to thank everyone who voted on this, and I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.